Come on, you turkey. Oh, that's catching it off the graph there. Come on. This fish I just caught with a Ned rig here at Roosevelt Lake, right off my graph. I saw him suspended. I could throw right up there, watch this bait fall, he would follow it down, and once I knew that he turned, I watched it turn and I set the hook and caught him. You know, we're at Roosevelt Lake and it is, you know, really early, late winter, early spring. The water temperature's up to finally about 58 degrees. It started at 53 this morning. It was really tough, but you know, I went back in some muddy water, tried to fish it a little bit, threw some reaction this morning, and it was tough. I mean, you know, we're dealing with a full moon situation here. So I came back out to the main lake here, and I thought, well, I'll play around. One of the first places I like to always try when I come to the main lake, and before the bass actually start pushing back to spawn, is they'll hang on these points and work their way back. So we're kind of working our way around a point right now. And I saw that fish suspended, like I said, threw out there, and watched that fish actually go down and hit it. Now, that's the thing that's so cool about the Garmin I love so much, is it's so clear. I can see everything. I can watch my bait fall, watch the fish chase the bait down. It's like sight fishing, and I love that. So, I mean, you could really get the fish to react. I popped it once and he followed it down, and I knew it was a bass at that point. Because a lot of times you throw out there, you might think it's a carp or something like that, just kind of swimming on its own out there. But unless you throw to it, you really don't know. And sometimes it's best to give it a shot. So we just caught that first fish doing that. I think we caught that fish by surprise for sure. But what we'll do, and you know, we get a lot of people asking me about, man, what do you do when your lake levels are coming up so fast? We had a lot of snow melt coming off in the White Mountains up here, and fills Roosevelt up. And Roosevelt's all but, I mean, you can see how much closer we are to getting full here. Probably another 20 feet, maybe 12 feet, something like that. When you have a lake coming up that quick, number one, it gets muddy. Number two, you got cold water coming in on both ends of the lake, because Payson's got its snow coming down from that way, and up where I live, the Salt River end, that's coming from us. So, you know, you're getting snow melt on both ends, and it's gonna be cold on both ends at first, for the first part of March like this. So what I try to do is try to find the warmer water, the clear water I can find to start with. That's where your drop shots and things like that, when the fish really are lethargic and really don't, you know, they wanna push up a little bit, but with that water coming up so fast, sometimes they don't move up as fast as the water's coming up, and there's times they do. But I'll tell you what, it is hard to try to figure out what's going on, but understanding no matter what's happening with this water, understanding the bass patterns and what they plan on doing this time of year with that water heating up, you know they gotta spawn. You know, here in the next month or so, they gotta push up, they gotta move back into these cuts. So work your way from the points, and I always go around the points, and then start working your way down and find where these fish are. And that's what we're kind of doing today, and see what we can't do. Now this water out here, it's not like ultra clear. I can see about 4 feet down here on the main lake. We're over here by Rabbit Island. And so everything's underwater over here. But this is our clearest part of the water. So that's when you can throw your finesse stuff if you want to throw it, things like that. You get into a little bit dingier water, things like that, that's when you're going to pick up your jigs, your spinner baits, your, you know, things like that will work really well. Spinner baits will work out here too. But you notice we have glass, and when you have glass, you got a high sun glass. A lot of times these fish will bury up into the trees and just kind of sit there. But it's hard to find a few roaming, but we found that one. But yeah, we'll just kind of go through here and see if we can't pick up a bass or two. You know, I just tied this little Ned rig on, and just to see what would happen down there, something a little finessey, because I've tried bigger stuff today, jigs and things, and they're just not willing to bite it yet. They're still a little lethargic. I was eating my food bar. Come on, son. No, you ain't going nowhere. Come here. I threw in there twice. Get up here. That's not normally how I want to lip them. My mouth's full. Let's eat my little food bar. Wacky Cinco. That's a little buck bass. They're moving up in. I've come back into this little area that we have just right off the main lake a little bit. Still in the main lake area. And I told you I like finding that warmer water. And when you find the warmer water, a lot of times the fish, you can find those fish moving up. Out on the main lake, we were finding 52, 53, sometimes 54-degree water. I slipped back into a cut here. I've got 59-degree water. These bass like to get up in the shallows this time of year. And you get back into some of these areas like this, find that water temperature moves up. They'll get right up on the bank a lot of times. You can throw a Cinco up in there and catch a lot of these fish. Now I'm throwing a wacky style Cinco right now, but in all honesty, I'm throwing in the lanes where you can still see me throwing in the lanes like this, but you can also just hook up a regular weedless Cinco. I use a 4-inch or a 5-inch. This is a 5-inch, and throw it in these trees and just let it fall down in there. Or you can start your flipping. You know, you can pull out your flipping gear and really set the meat to them and get them out of there. We got into this little pocket and I'm like, I gotta try my Cinco. And boom, he hit it. So, you know, we've going down the lake, we've thrown spinner baits, we've thrown chatter baits, but it seems like they're just a little bit dormant still as far as, you know, with the full moon. We have had no wind today really to speak of. So it's hard to get good reaction bites when you don't have a little bit of breeze, you know. I've had good days without the breeze, but I don't know, with its water still being cold, things like that, and they're just moving out of the depths, sometimes you need to slow down. Throw a jig, Cinco, something like that, and you can still catch them. Oh, there's one. There's one. He came up and got it. Don't you lose my bait now. Don't you lose my bait. He's trying to. Oh, gotcha. Oh my goodness, he almost lost my bait. Look at that. Oh, boy, he's cold. They're just now getting ready to move up. You know, we pulled in here to Sally Mae Cove because this particular area right here usually warms up the quickest. It's a little dirtier, little dingier, but in saying that, it's also 60 degrees in here. So I thought, man, with 60-degree water temp, you know, I mean, we might be able to get something going here. The gizzard shad are definitely flipping around in here. So we have gizzard shad in here. We got a lot of stuff going on. It seems like there's life. So what I ended up doing, I'm gonna have to tie another one on because I tore this one. It's tied on a green pumpkin 4-inch Cinco. And because we are in this muddy water, there's really no vibration, no flash, no nothing on this, but I'm throwing it by the bushes. What I've done is I've stuck, of course this one's done now, but I've stuck a little blade in there in the back. So when it flutters down, that blade flashes a little bit by the bush. And then when you go to pull on it a little bit to bring it over a branch, that blade's turning and they can sense it, you know. And so it just kind of sticks in the end of your worm. It's got the barbs on it so it holds inside the worm. That's all it does right there. And I'll tell you what, that little dude right there, at times can really be the ticket to catching some Cinco bass in a little bit more dingier water where you wouldn't normally throw just something that's just kind of floating down. And because I hate to give up the Cinco fishing around the bushes a lot of times, and they're suspended in these bushes. That's another thing I'm finding out. So being suspended like that, I want something to float right down in front of them. And that's what this particular bait does. The fishing's been tough, but a lot of times if you just keep moving, keep running around, you're more than likely able to find a little school of fish somewhere ready to bite. And the later the day it gets, during this time of year, the higher the water temperature gets, the better the fishing's gonna be, in my opinion. So it's, they can really get active in the middle of the afternoon or late in the afternoon before it gets dark. And a lot of people leave, you know, around 2 o'clock, and then all of a sudden the bite turns on 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoons on these cold days when they're trying to warm up. So something to think about. Your afternoon bite might be better this time of year for sure. I want to show you real quick how I rigged this bait up. You know, and a lot of times because of the blade that's on there, you will end up having to replace probably the bait after you catch a fish, but it really works well. But I've got a 4-inch Senko. You can also use a 5-inch Senko, but the bite is so tough right now that I've opted to go a little bit smaller. And that way, keep it compact a little bit. That way maybe I'll get some bites. I'm throwing the TRD Spin. It's made by Z-Man. You can pick these up at Bass Pro Shops, okay? It's an awesome little tail spin for your plastics. It works great, like I say, on this Senko. I love it. It's a perfect little gizmo. It's got the little barbs on it. I just put it in the tail of the Senko, and that'll be the sharp pencil end, okay? So I'll put that in there and go all the way in and make sure it's in there straight, and there you go, all the way to the eye. So that's all we got right there. Now, after I've rigged this, I'm still throwing this on my little Senko rod here, and I love it. I use the white nanofill. It's a 10-pound or 12-pound nanofill line, and I'm throwing it on 8-pound fluorocarbon, and you can use 10 as well, 10-pound fluorocarbon line as a leader. I'm using a 2/0 hook because it's going to fall pretty fast with that blade. That blade helps weight it down. You can go with a 3/0 hook as well, but I like the way it falls with the 2/0 wide gap hook, owner wide gap hook. And I'll bring it in and I'll just rig it weedless. So go turn it around, put it up in there just like you do weedless, skin it, and now you're ready to throw it in the trees. What I love about this is these little bushes I'm throwing into, you can throw right in the middle of them. The blade flutters a little bit and then falls, you know, right down. You can put it right in the middle of it, and as you drag it out, that blade will spin, and a lot of times that's when you'll get your bite. Sometimes they'll hit it on the fall, you know, as it's fluttering down. But I don't know what it is with this particular bait, but I'll tell you what, it works. It really does work good. And there's a time and a place for everything, in all honesty. But the reason why I'm going with this is because the water's not like ultra clear like it would normally be. I want a little flash, especially when I throw it up there in the little brush piles. Because if I do that or by the wood, that little flash imitates a little minnow or something like that, and they go right out there and grab it. It just grabs their attention. So it also gives it a little vibration. Oh, I'm getting bit. Got him. He's not a giant, but oh, he wasn't a giant. You know, it's so funny. I'm throwing this. I changed colors of my little blade on the back of my Senko to a silver one because I came out to the main lake here, and I thought I'd throw in some of this brush and see if I can't get this thing to work in the clear water. I really like to throw this in the clearer water. Now, when I say clear water, I'm talking, you know, just a few feet of visibility, but in saying that, the fish are there. This bait works really good. You can let it flutter down, but what's really nice about this is when you're pulling it, kind of like a pull drag type of deal, over the brush, over top of the tree limbs, things like that, that little blade gets to turning and they just go up there and blast it. And it's usually a pretty ferocious strike. You'll feel it. You'll feel them bite it. Hey folks, for my tip of the week, one thing really important to do when you get these blades, remember in clear water, you use a silver one. When you get in a little dingy water, you want the gold blade. They make a gold blade. Make sure you get a package of the gold, a package of the silver. because it's inevitable you're going to hit a little bit of dingy water, and when you do change that gold blade, it does make a difference in that muddier water. So make sure that you have both colors and you're set to go, whether you're on the main lake here at Roosevelt or back in the dingy stuff. There's one. There's one right there. Oh, that's a nice one there. Come on. Come on, son. Come on. He hit that sinkhole with that bleed on it. See, the water's not too muddy in this area that we're in. You know, you could get up here and catch a few of these little guys anyway. Man, you're cold. I'm glad you bit, though. He was in that piece of wood right there. Right there. Hey folks, we're here at DD26 with Dave Davis again. Hey, he's got a lot of great products for your boat. This one is really cool, especially when you want to rely on the water before a tournament or even before you go out fishing. Explain what you got here, Dave.
Yeah, this is a neat little product. It's called spool sticks. Cool thing about spool sticks, it can be permanently mounted with screws. You can do it in your garage wall. You can do it on a boat if you wanted. It can be semi-permanently mounted with 3M double-sided tape, which is what we have on this one. And it comes with suction cups, so you can put it on your truck if you're a co-angler out in the parking lot before a tournament. But where this comes in really handy, you want quick access to be able to spool without something backlashing on you. You just flip this guy down, throw your spool on there, and you are ready to go. Wow. It's got a 30-degree angle built in, so you get some resistance on that line so it doesn't overspin on you. Real neat deal, and you just flip it back up and you're done.
Another awesome product from DD26. Tell them how to get a hold of it.
You can buy this at www.dd26fishing.com.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Great products from DD26. Well, I'll tell you what, it's starting to get dark on us right now. We had a good time on the water today, regardless how bad the fishing was, and we tried to figure them out a little bit today, something a little different. And we caught some fish. I lost a couple of real nice ones, but you know, it works out that way sometimes. It is what it is. But definitely pick up some Senkos. Definitely give these little blades a try this time of year. And don't forget, the fish are starting to move back into the pockets, but don't forget the points right now too, because it's still cool water. So get out in the afternoon, have a great time, and I'll see you next week. I'm Johnny Johnson. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about, folks.